gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of the ICJ Kenya Governing Council and the ICJ Kenya Secretariat, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to this year's 2016 ICJ Kenya Jurist of the Year Award ceremony. The Jurist of the Year Award, JOYA, is an annual event in ICJ Kenya's calendar that seeks to give recognition, acknowledgement, and encouragement to jurists who have consistently, fearlessly, and impartially promoted the rule of law and human rights in the country during the year. It is the hallmark of ICJ Kenya's vision and mission. We aspire and strive to encourage jurists to achieve the highest standards of social justice ideals. At the micro level, the award provides an opportunity for jurists to network and, more importantly, brings together human rights defenders and supporters to reflect on the gains made throughout the year in promoting and protecting human rights.
This year's theme for Human Rights Day, as the chairman has said, is to stand up for someone's rights. And respecting each other's rights sometimes means finding common ground, as it did on that neutral turf of the meadow in Runnymede. But it takes courage too. It can be dangerous, sometimes deadly. So for their courage and their commitment, I salute today everyone who works to defend and promote human rights around the world. We stand greatly in their debt. States and governments have too a special responsibility to strive for greater standards of human rights in their own conduct and in that of their agents. Holding power on behalf of the people creates a unique obligation to discharge it in a way which protects the people's rights. Take the police. In my country, the murder of the black teenager Stephen Lawrence exposed deep racism in the British police service, which had failed to investigate the murder as they should have done or to give it appropriate priority. But it took real leadership, and that leadership was, in the end, forthcoming, not to sweep these problems under the carpet, but to acknowledge them and to take decisive steps to address them. Here in Kenya, there are many police officers who do an outstanding job, putting their lives on the line to protect the people. But there are also some who fall short of this standard, or cases where there is very credible evidence that this has happened. The point here is not to wish for a perfect world. Mankind is not a perfect species, and we cannot expect that everyone in government service will do no wrong. But the point is to ensure that where abuses occur, they are dealt with appropriately and decisively. There is now in Kenya a real opportunity for the Inspector General and the Cabinet Secretary for Interior to act decisively and to send a clear message that any allegations of police wrongdoing will be fully and transparently investigated, and I will continue to call on them to do that.
The 2016 Jurist of the Year Award citation. Since 1993, the Kenyan section of the International Commission of Jurists, ICJ Kenya, has each year recognized the achievements of one outstanding jurist dedicated to promoting and protecting human rights. The award was introduced both to commemorate International Human Rights Day and to recognize and honor the contribution of an exceptional jurist. This year, our distinguished jurist has been recognized locally, regionally, and internationally for his lifetime dedication to human rights, for which he fought to the very end. Our jurist spent his career exposing corrupt police officers and tirelessly fighting to uphold the rights of the marginalized. Despite clear threats and dangers, he courageously kept steadfast in his pursuit of and for justice. And in doing so, he paid the ultimate price. Those close to him say that our jurist started his career as a human rights lawyer with fears for his life, and he had every reason to worry. It is an epic tragedy, then, that our Jurist of the Year met his death at the hands of the same scourge against which he had spent years fighting. His clients were victims of police brutality, and our jurist died alongside one of them, Mr. Josephat Mwenda. In a groundbreaking case, the High Court ruled that the Jurist of the Year and his associates were subjected to enforced disappearance and executed by the police. This was a watershed moment in the history of justice in Kenya, as it shone a spotlight on the rampant scourge of extrajudicial killings that has plagued this country for far too long. For those who knew him personally, our jurist's strength and zeal marked him out as a memorable soul and as an indomitable human rights defender. His death sparked outrage on the streets of Kenya, and his legacy has prompted an international clarion call to end police brutality. We must continue to mobilize and not let his death be in vain. The High Court of Kenya recommended that this jurist be recognized as a champion of justice. ICJ Kenya wholeheartedly agrees with this high praise. To a man who believed that the people of this country deserve to live in a society where the police serve to detect and protect, not to distress and oppress, we are honored to present this year's Jurist of the Year award posthumously to Mr. Willie Kimani. Willie, we hold you up here today with pride and dignity, and most of all, with gratitude for all that you have done for this country in the name of human rights.
I take this opportunity to thank the Almighty God for bringing the late Willie to this world through his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Paul Kenothia. Despite the odds of life, he was well brought up with his brothers and sisters. He was respected, cherished, and adored by his in-laws, the Gutierrez family. I was blessed to have him as a husband, and he was the best father Castro and Patterson could ever ask for. For the years the late Willie worked, he was passionate, fearless, dedicated, and selfless. It never occurred to me that his work would cost him his life. No amount of words can explain or express who Willie was. He was one of a kind. The achievement of this award goes to show that his hard work was not in vain, that he died doing the right thing, which most of us would not dare do. I would like to thank Release Political Prisoners Trust, Independent Medical Legal Unit, Independent Policing Oversight Authority, International Justice Mission for giving Willie an opportunity to gain experience and exposure that he needed. You have contributed towards the achievement of this award tonight. My gratitude goes to the International Commission of Jurists for recognizing the late Willie's hard work towards fighting impunity and achieving justice for the poorest of the poor in our society. The late Willie fought a good fight, kept the faith, and he won the race. Even in death, he remains a hero, and his good legacy lives on. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel so humbled and honored to receive the Jurist of the Year Award 2016 on behalf of my late husband, Willie Kimani. May the good Lord bless us and keep us. Thank you.
Mine is very, very simple this evening, just to give a vote of thanks. And you allow me to discharge this burden by first thanking the family of our Jurist of the Year 2016, Mom and Dad, asanteni sana, because you gave Kenya a champion of human rights. Let's applaud them. And to Hannah and the boys, asante sana, because you allowed Willie to do his work as an advocate without any interruptions and achieve what he was able to achieve in his very short career as an advocate. So we also applaud Hannah. Asante sana. So I thank the ambassador for agreeing to grace this occasion. Asante sana for coming. I also want to thank the committee, the JOYA committee led by under the able leadership of Jemima. This is asante sana for what you're doing for ICJ. I would also want to thank the Secretariat for the work that they are putting, and the Council led by our former Jurist of the Year, Mr. Jojo Mue. Thank you very much. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and look forward to further interactions in the year 2017. Thank you very much.